Wonderful. Well, welcome to the first World of Choices Skilled Trades event for this year, May 7th, for building spaces. We want to thank RBC for funding the World of Choices. And we would also like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, where our relationship is based in peace and friendship. And we also acknowledge that people of African descent have been in Nova Scotia for over 400 years, and we honor those ancestors of African descent who came before us to this land. Ron here, so Red Seal Welder, owner of Ace Machining. We yield the floor to you.
Hello, my name's Ron Wallace, owner president of Ace Machining Limited. We started, myself and my business partner started in 2008. So we fall into the job shop area where people can walk in off the street, give us projects, we'll build them, and send them on the way. We do contract manufacturing now as well. Ultimately, everything in your life that you touch was handled by a machinist at one point or another. And most people don't know that or don't know what a machinist does. But the pen that I'm holding here, the mold to make the pen was made by a machinist. And, the watch, the mold to make the watch, the parts on your watch are made by a machinist. Everything in your life is touched by a machinist. Essentially what we do is it's like your woodworking shop, but with metal and plastics. So the demand for our products is greater than ever. It's probably the best time in the last 40 years to get into the trade because everybody has decided that we need to bring manufacturing back to North America. Now I'm going to talk a bit more about welding. So welding being my trade, the opportunity for welders it's not going to go away either. Everything, lots of things need to be welded. We have Irving Shipbuilding is building boats here. They'll be for the next 25 years putting out boats. Those ships, when they're done building those, the first ones will be in for their second end of life refits. So the boat building program is generational here. Outside of that, the other stuff, like we're manufacturing, we have one of my customers, they make a robotic flagging device, so they're automating traffic control. That's a huge amount of our welding. We've actually brought in robotics into the welding, so like the trade is still manual, but we're bringing, like, now you're starting to see robotics coming into it. You still need the ability to weld because you have to teach the robot how to weld. You have to tell it. So you can say, okay, the robot's going to replace my job. It's not. It's going to increase your wages because you'll be the skilled operator to run that stuff. For a shop like ours, there's different kinds of welding. Like we do the majority of our welding is done in this shop. So we have the guys, they're not outside in the weather. So when you take the welding course, you can kind of go a few different routes. You can go with the sanitary indoor welding, or you can end up in like equipment repair, and you might be laying underneath an excavator in a pit in the mud, right? So the trade it's a little more hands-on. It's a little more, you can get, I want to call it it's a dirtier trade, but I don't want it to sound bad, but you can end up where you have to be out in a snowstorm working on a piece of equipment versus the machinist guy. He's always standing in the heated shop in front of a piece of equipment. So our shop, and then there's different things. If you get on at Irving Shipbuilding, you're always going to be in the building welding the boats together. So there's multiple avenues you can take when you get into welding. It's fun at the end of the day to be able to see something that you were able to build from a drawing on a piece of paper or build with your hands. It's always impressive. I oftentimes, when I'm talking to people, to be able to read drawings in a good test for yourself to know if this is the trade you want to go into. If you can draw a three-dimensional box on a piece of paper, if you can visualize something in 3D and see it through to from a two-dimensional piece of paper and see it through to completion, then you'll be you're one step ahead of most people. A lot of people can't draw or visualize in 3D, but if you're able to do that, then you're kind of one step ahead of a lot of people, because that's the major thing, is to look at something on paper and say, I can visualize that, I can build it, and then it's here in front of me.
Appreciate the insight into both trades today, and having somebody who can speak to our youth about both the machinist and the welding side of things. I have a couple of questions for you, if you wouldn't mind giving us a few minutes of your time. For a youth starting out, so say somebody in high school is like, this is what I want to do. They go and visit that Titan CNC. They do their research. Maybe they even register with NSCC and they join Ace Machining. What does the first little bit of their career look like?
Machinist trade is like a 2-year program.
Yeah.
They have the accelerated 1 year now, but that's a choice. Some people will stick around for the second year. They do a work term. Most NSCC courses offer a work term, so we encourage the students to come to us. It's a 5-week work term. Historically, if you work the work term, we give you the job for the summer, and it gives you the experience. We have more material coming through here, more jobs, more stuff.
Real life application.
Yeah, it's real life application. It's difficult to repeat that in school. So you get your summer in with us, kind of summer one. They're back to school for another year. You come back, do your work term again, and then you can come on full time.
Work-life balance in this field. This is something we're hearing from youth often now. It's like, we want to work, but we want to still live our lives. What does an average staff member's hours or a day look like?
So that's a good point there. We started, like, so we don't need to necessarily be a Monday to Friday, or like a 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. kind of business, right? So when we started the company, our hours, we work 7 a.m. to 3:30. So you miss the traffic coming in, you miss the traffic going home. We really don't push for overtime, just for that reason, that like when we started, the trade was very like, people would leave it to last minute Friday night, and you work weekends, and I worked 8 years of weekends, and it's not fun. So we really try not to. We just 40 hours a week is what we ask from our staff. So your 8-hour day, you get a 15-minute break in the morning, half-hour lunch hour. You're out of here at 3:30 in the afternoon. There's extra hours if people want it. The shop's open till 4:30. So if people want that extra hour, we don't pay overtime unless we're getting overtime, but you could, in theory, put in 45 hours a week of paid work. And if there's extra hours, safety is key here in our building. We have some pretty stringent safety policies here, where you must wear the appropriate equipment. Nobody works alone. Like nobody can be in the building by themselves working independent of the rest of us. So it's, we've had for 3 years running 100% safety audits from independent companies. So that, for us in our industry, is huge.
Ron, thank you so much for your time today, for joining us from Ace Machining to speak to youth about both the opportunities of welding and machining here in Nova Scotia.
No, thank you for having me. Anybody have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're always happy for any of the teachers to jump on. If you're in the local area and you want to tour some kids through the shop, we're always welcome to, because what we do is pretty cool. Like we make stuff from nothing. So when you see it, I still get excited every day.